In this video I'm going to attempt to get the dents out of 3 of the doors. Now this is the front passenger door and there's a crease here and a bit of a dent here and there's another dent here. So this is the best of the 3, so I'm going to start on this one. I'm Steve and welcome to my channel. Okay, I've just removed that sound deadening material from the lower section of this door and I just scraped it off with this 12-inch raw, sharpened the edge there, and I wanted to get it out in one, and you can see I'm glad I did, because there's loads of little rust marks here. There's no paint, that's original metal, never had any paint on it. So I'm glad I took that off, because I'm going to take it off all the doors now, and I'll paint the inside with a brush. So I've gone over the inside with 80 grit sandpaper and got most of it. There's still pit marks, but I'll have to live with that. And this is where the dent hits out. You won't be able to see this, but as I run my hand across here, I can feel there's a dent there. So now I'm going to put the dolly there and use a slapper file to try to remove it. First time I've ever done this, so I'm learning as I go. Right, before I start, I thought I'd kind of mark it out where the dent is. So I've put this wall over it, and then I've put marks where the light ends. So the deepest point is about there, and it's about 2 mil under there. So that's the shape that I've got. So now I can try to remove it. I've been slapping this for quite a long time and I'm not really getting anywhere at the moment. There's a little bit of an improvement here. Now this is a selection of dollies that I have, and they came with a Chinese set that I bought. Now that one is mild steel. I made that when I was at work. And this one's got a radius on it, so I've been putting it like that. Now I think that is too small. So this block of metal here, I made this years ago to dress diamond wheels on a surface grinder. It did work to some extent. But anyway, I've got this now. So what I might do is dress a radius on here, and then use this larger block underneath, and then see if that improves anything. That's come out nice and shiny. So the process I used to make this was I put that on the door to get the profile, because it's not dead flat, and I checked it on the driver's side and it's about right. So I used this to check the radius on here, and I made the radius by using a 40 grit flat wheel, then an 80 grit flat wheel, and then this poly disc, and this took a lot of the scratch marks out and it made it quite smooth. I then went on to the orbital sander and I used an 80 grit, a 120 grit, then a 180 grit, and this one is a 240 grit. So I've just finished with the 240, and I went round all the corners to make it smooth. Now I have a tip here that I've found out over the years of polishing things. When you start off with the rough one, I went this way with the rough one, so all the scratch marks are in this direction. Now if I did the same with this wheel, which is a 40, I wouldn't be able to see the coarse scratches. I would just see the fine scratches, whereas if I did it this way, it shows up all the coarse scratches, so you can keep going until you've got rid of them, and then when you go on to the next fine wheel, you can go the other way. Although this one, because it's nice and flat, I was able to put that flat on there, and I could just go round. But that's the principle. So you always change direction when you change the grit, and you're more likely to get a really good finish by doing that. Obviously with this, it doesn't matter what direction you're going because it's an orbital action, so you just go round. So that's how I made it. So now, I don't know if you can see this. Let's have a look. So that matches, and it just falls away on the edges. It's not spot on, but it's good. So today I'm going to try this new dolly. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been putting clips and photos on Instagram. Now I think it was 2 days ago I put the clip of when I was first trying to get this dent out, the one you've already seen, and I put that on Instagram, and a company called Cheltenham Vintage and Classic put a comment on saying that I'm pushing it, but I should be having glancing blows. Now that little bit of information is probably going to help me so much, and in my mind that's what YouTube is all about. So Cheltenham Vintage and Classic is made up of 2 guys, and they're both professional panel beaters. One of them did an apprenticeship at Morgan, so you know that's got to be good, and they're very helpful. So I will put a link in the description to their YouTube channel, and it's well worth a look. One of their projects at the moment is a Mark II, so anyone who is watching this has a Mark II, it's well worth looking at. I've seen on YouTube people, they go like that to find the dolly. It's very difficult to hold this dolly. Feels good in that section there. There's a little bit more there. This one's got more of a radius. This one follows the natural curve of the door. So I'm wondering if this would work a bit better. No, that's still low. So the dent is still roughly over the same area, but what you can't see here is the distance. The distance under the wall is much less than it was. So it has actually raised it. Well, I got it to a point where it was quite good all along here. And then I was left with a high spot there when I put the straight edge on it. So I tried to heat shrink it, but it's just got worse. Now I've got a high spot here. I can feel that high spot, but since I put the heat on it, it's all canning more. So now I need to find out how I'm going to get that high spot down, because you can't fill it obviously. So it's quite a bit of a high spot there. The last clip was, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I thought I would try to improve the lumps and the bumps, but then I lost it. You know, when you put heat on, it distorts it and you get a lump on another place and you're chasing it across. So that's what I was doing. I was chasing it across. So I didn't film any of that because I'm clutching at straws. I don't know what I'm doing, and that's no help to anyone. So then I thought, well, I'm going to set 3 things. I'm going to get it so that the wall doesn't rock anyway. So I'm pressing here and here and it doesn't rock. And I'm going to get it so that there's no more than a 2mm gap underneath. And I found that bit of metal, and it's 14 gauge. Well, that is 2mm, 80 thou that is. And I've achieved that, and actually I've got it so that that is just over 1mm, and I've got it where that only goes under in a few places. And the third thing I'm going to set is no oil canning, because very often I got it correct and then I would go like this and I would find some oil canning, so then I'm heating it, pressing it and doing it. So I finally got it to that point. So there's no rocking at all. It feels really horrible, but I'm going to put filler all the way over there, and in theory I should be able to get that dead flat with the radius, the slight radius on here, and I should fill the whole lot. So what I'm going to do is, on the whole car, I'm going to put epoxy primer first. That will make this look really horrible. And then I'm going to put filler, and I'm going to sand it down flat, and then I'll put a couple of coats of epoxy primer on top of the filler, and I will keep doing it like that until it's as good as I want it. Well, I've done all I'm going to do to this door at the moment. I might have to revisit it when I start filling and doing it, because there is a lump here there was a ridge, and I can't get rid of that, but it's all lower than the wall that I was using. So what I'm going to do now is do each door in turn. Each of the other 3 doors have got little pinholes. It's not much rust, but I'm going to be cutting those little pinholes out and welding them up, and getting them ready for filling and painting. So I'm going to end this video here. I don't know if I'm going to make any more videos about the other doors yet. I'm not too sure. I might make a short video about welding the pinhole up. I don't really know. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time.